Alright, so now as far as the group dynamics go, you had Omarion, the Scorpio, as the oldest, and then you had Lil Fizz, the Sag, as the youngest. So, like I already told you before, the way Fizz and Boog were being fire signs, like I said there about that action, they probably enjoyed that action, you feel me? All the liveliness of just being a star and always going and always on to the next and things like that. So, that's probably what they were like. Now, with Raz B being Gemini, like I said, he was always around, peeping out the scene out, working, seeing everything that's going on. He was always the one, putting the pieces together, you feel me? He was the one, noticing, like, this ain't right, like, something off, like, something real off, like, you feel me? Like, something got to give, the money ain't right, you feel me? He the one probably noticed something was out of place, like, hold on. And then everybody else, once the fire signs get involved, you already know. But then Omarion being the oldest and being the water sign, you feel me, and been he probably needed the most support in the group. You know what I mean? Even though he was the one in the front, he probably needed the most support in the group. But he's also going to, be a hard worker and, put in those long hours. He's going to be willing to do that. So, as far as a leader goes, with him being a fixed sign, like I said, he can always stay the course. He can always, he don't mind doing like practice and stuff like that. Like he don't mind working hard like that Mars and that Pluto. He don't mind grinding, you feel me? He gonna buckle down when he need to buckle down, you feel me, and do what he need to do. So with him being the oldest, he probably provided, a lot of stability for that group, you know what I mean? And being the oldest, he's fixed and he's the oldest, so he's probably able to provide like a lot of stability for them. And keep them going, you know what I mean? And be willing to work and put that work in, when everybody else might want to goof off with that mutability and all that fire, they might want to, just be playing around and BS and stuff like that. He's going to be, focused, set on the goal, so he's going to always bring it back to, the work. That's what we got to work. Alright, yeah, it's cool, joke, but alright, we got to work, you feel me? So that's probably the role he played. But he was also very probably standoffish, like they probably, were the other ones, like, the Gemini, the Leo, and the Sag were probably, like I said, goofing around, joking, trying to find where the girls at, doing all kinds of stuff. Kinda, going against the grain a little bit, not necessarily against the grain, but they ain't always gonna follow the rules, like when they try to be strict and stuff, like them three, gonna get together and come up with something, get into something. But Omarion was probably like, I'ma just go. He's probably off to himself. Like, he gonna be in his room. Like, he ain't really trying to, go against the grain. He trying to stay focused and stay, keep his eye on the prize as opposed to them who probably want to play a little bit more, be a little bit more adventurous. You know what I mean? Ain't always gotta do what you told. You ain't always got to like, man, let's go find something to do. Like, man, they can't control us. They can't. How you gonna try to keep us in this box? Like, we got to get out. We got to go do something. And he was probably the one like, nah, I'ma just sit here and practice a song for tomorrow. You feel me? And they like, bro, yeah, listen, we already got the plan. We gonna do this and that. They gonna go be here at this time. We gonna be on slide out. We gonna be back at this time. He's like, nah, I'ma just kick it here. Y'all go ahead. Alright, y'all go ahead. Like I said, the fire and the air, Fizz, Boog, and Raz B, with them being air and fire sign, they probably didn't take everything as, personal as Omarion did, you feel me? They probably weren't it wasn't as personal for them. So they could probably look at the business aspect. So rather than it being like an emotional connection, how everybody is feeling, and these are our people, and we gotta keep our people close and stuff like that, and all that water shit. Yeah, at the end of the day, when the business wasn't right, they were ready to go. Like, all right, we gotta get up out of here. Like, you feel me? It ain't adding up. Like, cousin or not, you feel me? Cousin or not, family or not. Like, you robbing me, ain't good blood or not. Like, we got to get away from you. Like, then we get, we might can work it out, but nah, we ain't just gonna be over here just 'cause we family. No, you ain't doing me right, fam. What's up with that, fam? Like, what you talking about? Like, family, nigga. This how family do? unfortunately, sometimes, yeah, but still, nah, they was ready to go, you know what I mean? And then with Fizz and Boog being, mutable signs, they were, yeah, I mean, they already ready to go with the flow anyway. So if it ain't working out, you feel me? Sometimes you got to go, you got to make a move. And Boog with that fixed energy, probably once he was like, yeah, I mean, cause you said we saw that he was the one, like, man, like I said, he the one who stood up, like, yeah, I mean, in the interview and stuff like that. I think that this how I think. I think Raz B was the one who was putting the pieces together, and he brought it to the attention of the group because he the words. He gonna say it. You feel me? He put it in the air. He let it be known. It was probably unspoken, but then he probably came to him one day like, "Hey, y'all, this, and this." Point out the details. You feel me? He lined it up for him exactly everything. And then that fixed Boog, that Leo, he was like, all right, nah, hell nah, I ain't going for that. Yeah, I mean, we finna stand on ours. Like, you feel me? Like, girl, we finna do this, and that. And then with them being, like I said, with Fizz being the fire sign, being mutable, he was already ready to put it in action, that fire, and then he's ready to move and shake. He ready to move and shake. Okay, bet, that's the plan. All right, we're bet, we going with it. You know what I mean? You got two mutables in the fix. Like, we gonna stand on it. Fuck it. But then when it came to getting that other fix sign, yeah, I mean, when it came to getting that other fixed side on board, you feel me, it was a little bit more difficult because I told you, that's why I told you earlier, them two fixed signs might be a problem because they both stubborn, they both stuck in their ways, and when the you know what I mean, the plans ain't lining up together, then it could be an issue, you feel me, and that's probably where they came in handy, because when they all was ready to move and bust, you know what I mean, nah, it's over for this, we ain't gonna keep not getting paid, when they was ready to move, that fixed Scorpio, you feel me, he was in that water, he was ready to stay, he wanted to stay loyal, like I said, those eternal bonds. He wanted to stay with his people who had got him in there. You know what I mean? He was comfortable there. I mean, you gotta take all of that in accountability. So he was more so coming from that aspect, you know what I mean? Whereas, you know what I mean, like I told you, that fire in that air, it's like, bro, it ain't adding up. It ain't making, you know what I mean? It ain't making sense. Like, bro, we ain't getting what's due to us. Like, we need to put some action into it, you feel me? We done put it in the air, and now we gotta put some action behind it. We can't just keep talking or that talk shit sitting around. And nah, bro, we got to do something, you feel me? We got to make a move, you feel me? We gotta make something else happen, but we still gonna do what we do, you feel me? We still gonna do what we do, but we got to bust a move first. But that fixed Scorpio is like, that ain't where I'm at right now. And that ain't gonna be where I'm at. You ain't gonna make me be where you at. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, hey, I got my ties and my loyalty. This is Omarion. I got my ties and my loyalties and my people I came in with. We all was a group. Yeah, I mean, we all family. We all bonded. We all in this together forever. You feel me? Like, I mean, that's what he had with it. This is our thing. I mean, can't nobody stop that. Like, I mean, can't nobody stop what we done built and all of that, and we gonna keep this going, like, you feel me, that fixedness, you know what I mean, we gonna keep it right where it's at, you feel me, and that's where he coming from with it. He got these emotional connections, you feel me, these eternal bonds with different people, I mean, not just his group members, but the people who brought him into it, the people who provided him with the opportunity. He got all that on his heart, you feel me, and it's deep, you feel me, you gotta remember it, the Scorpio, this Pluto is deep. So he got all of that on his heart, and then his group pulling out, and he was, yeah, I mean, he was probably fucked up. Mario was probably fucked up emotionally during this time. I ain't gonna lie, he was probably having a little battle within himself. But at the end of the day, we see which side won. You see what I'm saying? But that's what he was coming from with it. He was fixed on what he already had going on and shit, stuff like that, and how he was going. You see what I'm saying? And how he was related to, and his relationship with this person provided me with this, and I can't just do that. I can't just disconnect with somebody, like I can't just do somebody like that. But it's like, bruh, they doing you like that. Facts. So that's why you saw that dynamic where it's like 3-on-1, like three of them was on the same court, and then he was the one that was standing out. This is why he was able to, you know what I mean, stand out there and be the only one who was like holding down whatever they felt that he was doing at the time. We didn't already went over that, but he felt like he was the only one gonna hold down the fort or what have you. But it's like, bruh, like I said, that mutable sign is time to move, you feel me? That fire is time to go, bro. They ain't doing this right, bro. I'm gonna get everything that's fine, everything that's entitled to me, not just a piece. Yeah, I heard what Boog said, I want everything that's entitled. Like I said, the mutable signs, bet it's time to go, it's time to go. Well, fun while it lasted. I holler. So we saw how those two fixed signs caused, a little friction in the group. But then we also had the two opposites of Gemini and Sag with Raz B and Fizz. So with those being opposite signs, right off the bat that those two probably had conflict here and there within the group, you know what I mean? So with Lil Fizz being a Gemini and Raz B being backwards, my bad. With Raz B being a Gemini and Fizz being a Sagittarius, the opposition a lot of the time. Lil Fizz is mostly focused on the bigger picture, where Raz B is focused more on the small details and putting the pieces together and things like that. So a lot of the times they probably, Lil Fizz probably looked at, Raz be like, oh, you nitpicking, or you know what I mean? Like, you nitpicking, like, you ain't focused on the bigger picture, like, you ain't focused on, what I mean, what you need to be focused on. Like, you too busy putting these small little pieces and worried about every little thing when you supposed to be focused on the bigger picture and what we actually, you know what I mean? Like, what we actually should be looking at, you feel me? This is how Fizz looking at. Like, you ain't even looking at what you supposed to be looking at. Like, you supposed to be focused on the bigger picture and getting this thing done and getting what we need to get and make sure we get our money and stuff like that. You focused on all the small little details, every little thing that happening, every little thing that's going on around you, every little person who did you wrong, it feels just like that ain't what's gonna get us paid. You see what I'm saying? So that's where it's like those two weren't on the same page. Now they're both mutable signs, so they both can move and shake. Like I told you before, that's why both of them, when it was time to go, hey, they both was ready to go. You feel me? Even though they had been there longer than everybody else, you feel me? They was ready to move and shake. Nigga, you ain't got to do. Don't threaten me with a good time. Let's roll. You feel me? So they was both on the same accord when it came to that. But with them being opposites, like I said, they're going to be looking at it in two different ways. You feel me? They're going to be on the same accord, but they're just going to be looking at it two different ways. Like I told you, Lil Fizz is going to be focused on the forest, and Raz B is going to be focused on the trees. You feel me? It just is what it is. So that's where they'll clash sometimes, where it's just like, bruh, look at the bigger picture. And then Raz B is like, bruh, look at all this shit going. Like, you don't see all this little shit, how this connected. You don't see how this shit. You don't see this bullshit. Like, that's where Raz B come from with it. So sometimes they probably clash when it came to stuff like that, or like when the Sagittarius is ready to move, a Lil Fizz is ready to move, and, you know what I mean, make action and stuff. A little Raz B probably wanted to take more thought and planning and stuff like that, and organizing and stuff like that. And then Lil Fizz is ready to go. You feel me? He's ready to move. When it's time to move, it's time to move. Whereas Raz B more so want to have a plan in line. Okay, what we gonna do? Okay, let's make sure everything lining up before we just go out there and jump out there and do something. Let's make sure we got all the facts. Let's make sure we got a little detail. Whereas Fizz is like, fuck all them little details, bro. We see what the main thing is, so let's go. Like, what are you doing? So that's probably where they probably had a little friction. That's how you saw them, like, once they broke up or whatever, Lil Fizz, and you see Lil Fizz didn't really provide too much support for Raz B with all the extra stuff that he was doing, because that's how he felt. He felt like it was a bunch of extra stuff, you feel me? He wasn't focused on the bigger picture. He wasn't focused on, you feel me, the main goal. He wasn't focused on taking what they could take from the experience, like say the Sag. He wasn't focused on that. He's focused on putting these details together and putting it out there and communicating and letting it be known, you see what I'm saying? Putting it in the air, that air sign, you see what I'm saying? Whereas Lil Fizz is more about that action, like, fuck, let's fuck about it. Fuck talking about it, fuck communicating, stop trying to, stop trying to organize, stop trying to do it, fuck all that. Like, what we gonna do? Like, point like, weird, like, this, that far, like, bro, what we gonna do? Fuck them sitting around talking about it, playing and all that, organized. Alright, when we gonna take action, you feel me? When we gonna get this show on the road? When we gonna get moving? You just wanna sit around and talk about some shit. Ain't nobody trying to sit here and talk with you all day, like, you know what I mean? That's where them two would clash, but aside from that, like I said, they both mutable, so they both can move and shake. And even that could cause a problem between the two, because when both people, you don't know where either one of them coming from. You see what I'm saying? You don't know what you're going to get. They liable to change at any given moment. They liable to adapt at any given moment. You never know what you're going to get. And that's with each other, you feel me? So it's already going to be, a little hectic and a little hard for them to keep up with each other. But aside from that, you know what I mean? That's the only real opposite that we got. We already discussed how the two fixed signs cause a friction, how the two opposites cause a friction. You know what I mean? Now, with Lil Fizz being the youngest, it made sense that it was a lot easier for him to, like, move and shake and be more influenced and susceptible to, like, you know, whatever was going on with the group. So it makes sense that he would, you know, even though he had been there the longest and he technically had the most time in with the management and things like that, he had been around the longest, it makes sense that he would go ahead and move, you know what I mean, because he's the youngest. So he just kind of, yeah, I mean, these my brothers, you feel me, he gonna go with his big brothers, you feel me, he ain't gonna necessarily be trying to, and he already got that mutability in him and that fire when he want to be about that action and you want to adapt and move and change and stuff. So alright, bet, let's move and shake. Okay, cool. He can go with the changes, you know what I mean? That he can go with the flow, you feel me? So it makes sense that with him being the youngest, he would just be with his brothers, like, okay, we all had made a plan as brothers, okay, let's move out then. Let's move. You see what I'm saying? It ain't about the management or what we've been, how long we been here, all of that, 3-4 different groups. Ain't about none of that. Like, this is me and my brothers doing, like, that's what we gonna do, and let's put it in action. Let's get it going. Let's make these moves. You see what I'm saying? As opposed to Omarion, the oldest, who was a fixed sign, was kind of stuck in his ways and trying to stay down or whatever he got himself doing, or staying loyal to the people and all of that, the management rather than his brothers and stuff. You see what I'm saying? Because he was the oldest, he probably felt like he should be the one that had the final say. You know what I'm saying? He probably felt like he should be he knew the most. He knew what was best. And if y'all don't want to get out, then all right, go on, do what y'all gonna do. But I'm gonna be right here. You feel me? That fixed sign. I'm gonna stand right here. I'm gonna hold my ground. I'm gonna stand here. You know what I mean? Whatever it is, whatever happen, gonna happen. But I ain't with y'all play. I ain't doing what y'all doing. Like, I ain't with that. I'm from over here. Like, he probably felt like, as the oldest, like, they should really, my brothers, they should follow behind me. They should be with me. They should stand with me. Remember those eternal bonds, that Scorpio. He probably felt like they should just be in line. But, you know what I mean? You got a fixed sign and 2 mutables. Like, nigga, they ready to move. Like, you feel me? You know what I mean? They got their own way of seeing stuff. They got their own way of doing things. Like, you got to... Ain't nobody finna just be following behind you, especially not that that Leo, that other fixed sign. Like I told you, J Boog was the one, like, bruh. I told y'all, bruh, ain't nobody on that. Ain't nobody on that. Like I said, Raz B is probably the one who peeped everything out, but J Boog is the one that put the stamp on it. Like, bruh, we ain't going for this. Period. And we see that, you know, those fixed signs, they kind of stayed on that for a long time. Like, they held it. Like, you didn't really hear too much about from J Boog or Omarion discussing, like, why they were broken up, discussing a reunion and stuff like that. Like, they weren't really too much on trying to, like, man, they were standing their ground. These are the two fixed sides, you feel me? They stand in how they felt. So that's how they felt then. That's what they said then. That's how they feel now. That's what they said. And that saying that, it ain't gonna change, you feel me? It is what it is. I'm gonna stand on it. It's gonna be very hard for them to stray from that, you feel me? Whatever they didn't decide to put their head on. So Omarion then decided to stick with whatever he decided to stick with and go, so whatever, alright, he gonna stand on that. Fuck y'all. You know what I'm saying? And then J Boog, like, okay, we decided that we ain't fucking with them until you get our money. We ain't get our money, so we ain't fucking with them. Alright, we standing on that. Where you see the mutable signs, we're kind of trying to, in the middle, trying to explain stuff. The Sag, Lil Fizz, and the Gemini, Raz B, you see that Raz B was trying to, like, air stuff, trying to communicate, trying to talk, trying to share those ideas. You see what I'm saying? He was the one out there doing interviews and stuff and letting us know different stuff that was going on. And then you see that he did, like, an interview where he was apologizing and stuff for stuff in the past. And then you saw, like, Fizz was on the show, like, Love and Hip Hop. He was trying to, like, bring the group together and stuff like that. You see those mutable signs were the ones trying to kind of shake and move and be in between. You see what I'm saying? Be in between and, you know, really adapt to the situation. When they saw, like, the money was slowing up and said, okay, we need to go ahead and do this thing again. So they, you know what I mean, just like they could leave the group, they could join the group, and they could, you see what I'm saying, they got that adaptability where whatever is the best for the thing, at the best thing to do at the moment, or the best thing that's going to be the most, you know what I mean, hold the most reward for them in it, that's what they're gonna do. I mean, regardless of their ego or their pride or they, you know what I mean, or just being stubborn or just walking your way. No, this is what's best for the situation. Like, this is how I'm gonna get the most out of the situation. Bet we need to move and shake, then we need to move and shake. So if I gotta go talk to this motherfucker, even though they did all this and that, then that's what I'm gonna do. If that's what I gotta do, you know what I'm saying? That's that mutability. So that's why you saw Raz B And Fizz were the two trying to kind of reunite and trying to really speak it into the atmosphere and trying to bring it about. Where you see as J Boog just did a bunch of interviews, not J Boog, sorry, Raz B did a bunch of interviews that air talking, discussing it, apologizing and stuff like that. And you saw that Fizz was taking more action with his. He was actually going to see people, going to, you know what I mean, taking that action and try to bring them together. He actually was going to speak. He was actually dealing with Omarion, whereas like nobody else was really dealing with Omarion. For what we could see from him, he was actually dealing with Omarion, actually meeting with Omarion, trying to actually make that work, even though he wasn't associating with the other members of the group. He was actually taking action to make that happen, as opposed to just talking about it. He was taking action. All right, I'm gonna go meet with everybody. I'm gonna go and sit down with everybody personally. I'm gonna go and figure out what, you see what I'm saying? But he's gonna take the action. It's not just gonna be talk. It's just not just gonna be words. It's that fire mutability. You feel me? But he's still gonna adapt to the different situation and figure out what's going on. So that's why you saw that with those two. Now with them actually getting back together, you know, you could tell that it was more so like, you know what I mean, like I said, those two had already did their part. So as far as Omarion and J Boog were concerned, J Boog never really had a problem. He, like I said, he's a Leo, so he's all about his creativity and things like that anyway. So he probably never really wanted to stop singing and dancing anyway, you know what I mean? But the situation just wasn't ideal. So he already had that within him. So that probably never left him. So he always had that in him. So they probably just had to, you know, with him just present, you know, the money, make sure his money was out, because that's what he was worried about in the first place. So if they brought to him like, okay, this is what we gonna be getting paid, and it looked right, okay, boom, he was back in. He ain't have to, you know what I mean, because you got to fix the problem. Remember, that's stubborn, and he's gonna stand his ground. All right, so as long as you fix that, like, all right, man, we back in business. Like, you feel me? He gonna work just as hard. He gonna put in all the hours. He gonna do what he needs to do. Y'all understand the problem? All right, back to the what they say, originally scheduled program. Back to the regularly scheduled program, and my nigga, we back on. Now, Omarion was probably the last one to really come around as far as getting the group back together, and that just has to do with him, like I said, being fixed sign and being water sign, so he probably felt all kinds of betrayal, and I told you he's probably going through a lot of emotional turmoil as far as all of this goes, and what all went down, and how people were discussing all the stuff that went on when they broke up and stuff. So he had to take a while and work through that emotional turn internally. You see what I'm saying? He had to sit down with himself and work through all of that he had to go through, and you know, the feelings of betrayal and all of that. Like however he felt about it, I told you, he took it personal. Trust me. So he felt every slight, every unpleasant word that they spoke about him, anything aside from how he saw it, you see what I'm saying, that fixing it, then he took that person, he's going to take that as a slight, and he's going to take it to heart. So he had to work through that stuff within himself, and then once he came to a point where he felt comfortable, then he was able to reunite with the group. Don't think don't think that he just did it for the you know what I mean, for the fans or for the, he had to take that time within himself to work through those things, and then he was able to, you know, rejoin and redo what he wanted to do, and his career had failed. So you never know what would have happened. He had fell off. I wouldn't say failed, but he had fell off at that point. So it had then become, you know, more of a necessity. You see what I'm saying? He had a little bit more of an incentive to do it. I mean, as opposed to when he was actually popping. You see what I'm saying? There had to be a reason or some form or something. He wasn't just gonna happen, because like I told you, that fixedness and those emotions, he's gonna hold that shit in there forever. He was probably he was probably upset with them up until the moment where they actually, I mean, finally got to rehearsal. Like, he was still feeling, like, he probably still feels some type of way to this day. But like I said, he's gonna have to maintain the things that he's gained forever. Remember that foreverness that comes with Scorpio. So that's gonna take priority over even, you know what I mean, how he felt about them at the moment. So, okay, that's my bottom line is, okay, if I want to keep this, you see what I'm saying, if I want to keep living how I'm living, then I got to bring in some money, so I got to go and do what I got to do. My solo ain't getting it no more, so I got to go and do what I got to do. So then, okay, let me take the time, let me see what's really going on. Then he going to work through all that and get it in his mind where he can even stomach being around them. And then it's like, okay, all right, cool. And he still got every single last word, anything they ever said again, he still got it all in his head. So it ain't all dead, but he just was able to work through it enough where he was able to, like I said, stomach them and be able to deal with it in order to go and perform and do what he loves and be able to provide for himself and remember those long-term goals, meet those long-term goals that he had for himself. You see what I'm saying? And then he's still not really gonna. You still never really saw him go against his original statement. You see what I'm saying? You never heard him really say that the management was bad or that they did anything wrong. You never heard him do that. He's still really standing in his ground. Like, you see what I'm saying? He's still really standing his ground, but you just back with them. You see what I'm saying? He never really like apologized or explained things in detail, none of that. Like, he kind of just, it's just all right now, so we gonna work with it while it's all right, and if it ain't all right no more, then then we deal with it then. But yeah, aside from that, they always had that brotherhood. They all have that, with him being a Scorpio, he still felt like those are his brothers. So even though he did what he did and they did what they did, even through all the years, he still felt like I told you, they Scorpios make those eternal bonds. So even though he may have felt however he felt with them, those are still his brothers at the end of the day. You feel me? And he knew that, like, within himself, like, even if he wasn't showing us that, that's why he was so hurt by all of the stuff that was going on. You see what I'm saying? That's why they were hurt, because they was all still brothers at the end of the day. You feel me? And that fixedness, he gonna want to keep it that way. You see what I'm saying? Even if, whatever we go through, we go through. But at the end of the day, that's still your brother. That's still your people. You know what I mean? It is what it is. So that's also in that water, those emotions, those feelings, those attachments that he had to them. You know what I mean? That also contributed to why he was able to come back. Because at the end of the day, he knew he still had love for them. You see what I'm saying? At the end of the day, whatever went down, you know what I mean? He know he's still in his heart, in his heart of hearts. That yeah, he still had love. You know what I mean? He couldn't keep fighting it, and there was no sense in doing it. Like, it wasn't benefiting him in any kind of way. No point was being proven. It's like, okay, now what are we doing this for? Like, facts. Like, but with two fire signs and air signs, like I was saying, they probably had a lot of fun. They probably, always joking around, always playing tricks on each other and stuff like that, talking stuff, trash talk. With two air signs, air sign, two fire signs. You know what I mean? It's gonna be jokes and playing around, and like I said, getting girls and trying to see who got the most game and like stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And then, like I said before, that water sign Omarion, he probably stayed more than himself, but he probably, he was with it, but he wasn't out there with it. You feel me? Whereas they would have been out there with it, he's probably a little bit more low key. You feel me? He still did what he did, but he was low key. He might be, tucked off to himself. Everybody don't know who he messing with. You feel me? He probably ain't bragging about it as much. Like, they out there talking stuff. You feel me? Competing and stuff like that. He probably fell back a little bit more. You feel me? But other than that, that's probably how, B2K interacted for the most part. So we got to see a little bit of their group dynamics. We got to get into, how that mutability and that fixedness may not always go together, but at the same time, it can work out for the best. If both parties if everybody play their part, and you get just that right amount of fixedness so you can keep it going, just to keep the ship moving, then that mutability to keep you updated, keep you current, keep that adaptability, keep you going. You see what I'm saying? Fixedness go make sure you getting it done every day, but that mutability will make sure you adapting to everything that's going on around you, make sure you stay up to date, you feel me? Make sure you stay with the time. That would have been, the most beneficial way for them to use their elements and probably in their prime. That's probably how, it all worked out and how they were able to be so successful. So that was another group dynamics video all about B2K. Track okay. But yeah, you gotta get into another group dynamics video today all about B2K. Gotta dive into, all four members of the group. Got to see, a couple characteristics of their personalities, how they interacted with one another and whatnot, what maybe contributed to the breakup and them getting back together. So, as always, thanks for watching. Make sure you kick back with some of my other group dynamic videos. Make sure you check out that TLC and that Destiny's Child. Jumpin'. Let me know what you think down below. Come on with it.